I have some tea for you. I found some Project 2025 blueprints inside one of the cases that I've recently been reporting on. For those of you who are new here on social media, one of the things I do is I'm in the dockets, I'm digging in the crates and the files of the various different lawsuits that are filed against the Trump administration. And when I find gems and nuggets, I'm helping you understand what the frick is going on. And I'm also helping you with a sense of calm and knowing that the court system, the judicial system, the various different nonprofits, organizations, associations, unions that are fighting this oppressive, wannabe, authoritarian, I say wannabe, regime, tooth and nail. And so you can know that it's working. So this is here. Remember, I told you that the Trump administration said that they are willing to bring back anyone who a court says needs to be returned from Venezuela, from the 238 men that were sent to CCOT and eventually redirected back to Venezuela last week. So this woman named Melissa Harper. Who is Melissa Harper? She has a dubious history, but before I get into who she is, I'm gonna tell you quickly about the Project 2025 link, and I'm going to do a full circle loop. So remember, part of the Project 2025 agenda in their attack against civilian legacy career government employees is to replace them with Trump sycophants, Trump loyalists, right? So wherever there's someone in the government that's already working, that's been worked for various different administrations, from Obama to Biden to Trump to back to, all across, and just been doing their job even keelly, neutrally, they want to squeeze those people out and replace them with loyalists. Melissa Harper is such a loyalist. So she's the one who signed the document, I'm going to put it here, where they said that they're going to bring people back, right? Her specific role is the acting deputy chief for the deportation. I'm putting here so you can see a specific title. Before she got that title, this year she got another she was appointed to a position where she was going to be responsible for the migrant children. She's an ICE official, and ProPublica flagged it and say, oh, you're going to have her be responsible? So this is a role before this one. This role right here, by the way, she just got July 2029. And remember, I say that the Department of Justice, Department of Homeland Security, Department of State, they are hemorrhaging people. The entire Trump government, people are leaving because it's like no one wants to work for them. Right? So this Melissa woman is would be a Trump sycophant, a loyalist, because I found her LinkedIn, and her latest post was her talking about this is why we need to get rid of the illegals, and she was citing some New York Post article about some migrants that had committed a crime, and one of the comments under it was someone finger wagging her and be like, girl, you a horrible person, you're gonna go to hell. Nah, for real. This Jean R. read her fulfilled. She said, history will look down on your name and your actions, Miss Harper. I hope very much that you grow wiser as a person and develop a real moral backbone going forward. A grown woman shouldn't have to be taught these things this far into her career. Yeah, here we are. Yes, Miss Jean, read her fulfilled. She's only had that job, brand new. But ProPublica did an expose on her because before this position, in January, she was appointed a role where she was going to be in charge of the migrant children. And ProPublica flagged her because before she had this job, back in Trump 1, the first administration, she was overseeing migrant children when they started taking kids the minute they turned 18 and sending them to adult detention. We all know that the difference between a 17-year, 11-month-old person and an 18-year-old is really nominal. But irrespective of the fact that the conservatives called Kyle Rittenhouse, who was a killer, a kid, while under the same breath were quick to say 12-year-old Tamir Rice, 17-year-old Trayvon Martin, and 18-year-old Mike Brown were adults. But I digress. She was in charge of children, and they moved children the minute they turned 18 to adult detention. That triggered a class action lawsuit under her watch, under Melissa Harper's watch. and the class action plaintiffs won, and because of that class action lawsuit, they said they have to keep them. They removed immigration custom enforcement. They took out these kids and say they're children, they're vulnerable, their parents might have brought them here, but they're kids. They shouldn't be under ICE under this criminal thing because they're not really criminals. We're going to take them out of that. That's part of that settlement. The day that the ink was supposed to dry on that, which I think was 2024, even though it started during Trump 1 administration and went through Biden's, Melissa Harper left. And here she's resurfaced again. She resurfaced. So ProPublica was like, what? Watch her. And the type of job that she got, let me tell you about the type of job she got. The type of role she got is the type of role in the federal government that allows you to lateral, where you are like an appointee. You go from position to position to position. It's almost kind of like non-competitive. So they're not putting out like a press, whatever, like a employment thing and getting different people and interviewing folks. She's just being handpicked and put in different departments. So they put this person in this role, right? The irony of it all is because the case, which is JOP, which she actually did this declaration, is the case before Judge Stephanie Gallagher, where Christian, his name is Daniel Lazardo. He was called Christian, was like a pseudonym because he was a kid, 19. He's probably turned 20 by now. She said that Christian was part of the class action, a separate class action that said that any kid that was born here to the United States before 2019 as an unaccompanied minor, they cannot be deported. They're allowed to have an asylum application, an asylum case. So he's under protected class, and they deported him. So since then, just like Judge Paula Zinas in the District Court of Maryland was trying to get Kilmer Aparigo back, who, according to a court order, wasn't supposed to be deported, definitely not to El Salvador, because that's where he left and fled. And another case in Boasberg in DC was just trying to bring them all back. They're all having a trouble with getting the Trump administration to tell who's there, how they get there, what's going on, and they're just obfuscating. They're hemming and hawing, they're lying, they're making all sorts of bullshit. And they admitted that they need to bring this kid back, but they were saying it's not up to us, it's the diplomatic, just lying. And I'm going to talk about that. I have a video talking about that, a long video coming up after this video about the blame game between El Salvador and the United States government and how the UN is causing them to like point fingers at each other. It's coming soon. So the full circle moment is that part of the Project 2025 agenda report says to place the children back under ICE enforcement. And here we have someone who was a former ICE agent who once was in charge of migrant children, who's right now is the one who issued this like declaration regarding bringing Christiane back, who was 19, who's subject to a migrant child law, like protection class action lawsuit. And it's like, are they trying to bring them back again? Full circle moment. Project 2025 fingerprints. For all the people, the MAGAs who used to say Project 25 is not Donald Trump, and Donald Trump like discounting and saying, I don't know what that is, it has nothing to do with me. He's a puppet. He's a puppet. The puppet masters of the Project 2025, Russell Vogt, the guy who just died, the Heritage Foundation, all of them, this whole thing, all of his executive orders, every single thing he's doing, from the foreign diplomacy to the immigration policy to the what they're doing to federal civilian employees, all of this, they're gonna be made to pay for this. There's another side of this. And so Melissa Harper does not get to say during her hearing, I didn't know, I wasn't sure, I was just following orders. We know now she's a syndicate, she's a loyalist, she knows what she's doing, she's a career Trumper. So anyway, so that's what I discovered in the files. So follow me some more. I'll let you know. I'll keep you updated with how all these things go. I'm following the dockets, and yeah, each one teach one. It's a motto I adopted from the past. Share my account. Check out jjlegal.com. I have Know Your Rights card. Join my private community, which you're going to be start doing some good stuff in the private community. And also, I have a case tracker, which is my companion document, and I have templates. So that's how I support myself. And if you would like to partner, I'm interested in partnering as well. Or have me on your podcast. JJ Legal, each one teach one.